Hi, I'm Richard. I'm the MSRC Treasurer. I'm just going to take you through treasuring and funding for your club and or society. Okay, so the role of Treasurer. It's a very important role because obviously in charge of a club's finances, looking after the financial security of your club and society and making sure that the flow of money in and out is unrestricted and that you're clear and transparent about it. You have to be organised, but don't be afraid to ask for help from either your exec or also the MSRC Treasurer, and if they can't help you, they can also refer you to the Leeds University Union Cash Office, and I'm sure they can give you some advice there. Just to say on that, bad treasuring can break clubs and societies, so it is absolutely important that you are organised and you look after this role, as it is vital for the future of your club and societies. So, what to expect from a handover? You should always speak to your outgoing treasurer, get to know how they did things, what things have worked, what things haven't worked, and any systems or that they may have implemented or ways of doing things. Try to ensure that you have spreadsheets or records of spending and outgoing and ingoing transactions with your bank account. If you do have a bank account, an external bank account, make sure that it is a community account, not just a personal account, as that is forbidden by the union. If you only bank with MSRC, just make sure that you have a record of things going in and out so that you know where you lie in your finances and how much of your funding allocation that you've used. Know how things are done, and also make sure you send an email to the MSRC Treasurer. It can be reached msrc.treasurer@outlook.com. Okay? Know how you interact with the MSRC Treasurer, know the deadlines in the system and how to claim or put in money. As this is absolutely vital to get this working relationship established so that everything becomes easier throughout the year with regarding to your finances and working with MSRC. MSRC funding. Okay, MSRC funding, the funding year runs exactly the same as the UK financial year. So it's the 1st of April to the 31st of March every year. It's not the same as the academic year or any other year, it simply follows the financial year. So that means the key dates are 1st of April, that is the start of the MSRC funding year. That is when allocations are given and when they go live, so to speak. So if you've successfully applied and been given a funding allocation from MSRC, from the 1st of April you can start to claim that back. Okay? The 1st of December is when we send the halfway checks. These are just forms that we ask you to fill in just to see how you're going, if you need any help, what you've been spending the money on, and if you need any more, or maybe even advice on how you can effectively spend or manage your money. It's just to check that everything's going fine with you, and it's not meant to be anything more than that. The 1st of March is when funding applications for the next year open. So prior to the 1st of March, we will have been sending out emails to every single MSRC club and society with all the details about how to apply for a funding allocation for the next year, and also the necessary forms to do that with. The 31st of March is the deadline, so any forms received after this deadline unfortunately cannot be received further and cannot be processed, so unfortunately you will not get a funding application for the next year. However, all the forms before that will be reviewed and hopefully you will be given a funding allocation. So just remember, those are the key dates, and they are set and they will never change from year to year. So applying for funding. The criteria are you have to be an MSRC club or society. If you are unsure of your status as an MSRC club or society, send an email to msrc.gmail@gmail.com, okay, and reference that to the sports or societies rep and just simply ask them whether you are an MSRC club or society. There's also specific criteria in the application form that you would have had to fill, such as a risk assessment, have you done a give it a go, and have you put a notice board up, those kind of things. It'll all become clear on the form. And in addition, you have to hand in a completed annual funding application form to the MSRC Treasurer by the 28th of March, that deadline I mentioned. Okay, that form will be emailed out to every single club or society prior to the deadline. It is also accessible on the downloads page of the Leeds MSRC website. You'll be notified of your allocation by the 1st of April, and then should you get an allocation for that year, it will then become live on that date and you can start to claim from there. Allocations are decided by the Treasurer, and this is checked and ratified by all members of the MSRC Committee, and this is based on the information supplied on the funding application form you give in, the halfway check form for existing clubs and societies, and also your current financial status or need. Okay, so a quick example of that, if a club or society asks for £150, in the annual funding form they've said, yeah, we need this for transport, to hire venues. Last year, out of £150 that we asked for, we spent £145, then it's very likely that they will get that £150 that they asked for. However, if a club decides to ask for £500 and they have no obvious outgoing expenses, and their bank statement shows that they've got £1,000 in their bank, then we'll be very less likely to give that allocation unless there was an extenuating circumstance. For example, a sports club sports club hosting a major event such as NAMS, or a society hosting a major conference. Claiming your allocation, MSRC and the Leeds University Union work on a claim system, okay, and that can be further explained in the claiming protocol. But that basically means, of your allocation, that actually doesn't go to your bank account or to you. You have to provide proof of purchase, so a receipt or an invoice, send that in with an MSRC claims form to the MSRC treasurer, and they will reimburse you for your payment, or if it's especially large, they will pay an invoice for you. This has to be within 2 weeks of the date on the receipt or invoice, and you cannot exceed your funding allocation. So make sure you know what you're spending things on. Emergency funding. This is available in extreme situations. This allows you to take out more money out of your allocation than you would. So if you're allocated £200, but you need an extra £50 for something that went wrong, if you apply through this, speak to the treasurer or email the treasurer, they'll sort you out. You can get it, but this is an extremist situation. It'll be reviewed by the committee, but to us it demonstrates poor planning by that club or society, and we'll be less likely to give you any significant amounts of funding allocation in the future. The finance team. Treasuring isn't a singular role. There are lots of interactions, for example, with sponsorship, publicity and events, and it's knowing how you fit in with all those people. Communication and transparency are the key to making sure that you are able to work with these members of your committee and ensure that you get the best out of your club or society, and you get the best from your role. MSRC. Point of contact for finance issues is the MSRC Treasurer, and they can be accessed at msrc.treasurer@outlook.com. Forms, such as the funding form, claims form, and the different protocols for claiming or putting money into the account can be found at the Leeds Medics website, so that's the MSRC website in the download section, or alternatively you can just email the MSRC Treasurer. You should also receive a handover checklist and a treasurer pack from the MSRC within 1 week of the 1st of April, when your club or society's funding allocations go live. And this should be passed on to you by your successor should your AGM be at a different time to the MSRC one. So overall, if in doubt, ask the MSRC Treasurer, and if they don't know, they can always ask the Cash Office or the Leeds University Union. Know the protocols, the MSRC protocols, and how to claim money. The system is very easy to use. Simply receipt, form, hand it in, and you should be reimbursed within 2 to 3 weeks. Stick to the deadlines. They are non-negotiable, unfortunately. Be organised and keep records, and make sure you're transparent with your club or society, knowing that everyone knows where the money is going, what it's being spent on, because unfortunately in the past, not with any medic societies, but other union societies, treasurers have gone to prison for fraud, and there have been many allegations of fraud in the past. So ensuring that you stick to very basic rules, such as making sure you have a community account, making sure that you keep good and adequate records of all money going in and out of your account. You regularly audit this and show your club or society president or captain. That ensures that everyone knows what is going on, and there can be no or reduce the doubts of allegations of fraud or any serious things like that. Hopefully that won't happen. As I found it, treasuring has been an incredibly rewarding and brilliant role. You will learn a lot, and you'll certainly develop your own style to do things, and I'm sure you'll take this position and do brilliant things with it. Thank you.